Hello, my name is Malia, and this is our group Project 3 presentation. The name of our group is Game of 15. For Project 3, we developed a 15 puzzle game using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This project involved creating a 4x4 grid made up of movable tiles that, when correctly arranged, form a complete image. Our game's objective is for the user to drag and position the tiles within the grid until the puzzle is solved. Our project uses clean, user-friendly design along with smooth controls, which provide the user with a fun puzzle game. Our main objective for this project was to create a fun and fully functional 15 puzzle game. In addition to our main objective, we also included inter-game notifications, a game timer, included some form of audio during gameplay, allowed the user to use multiple backgrounds, included a shuffle button to rearrange the tiles, and included a cheat button that will solve the puzzle for the user if they can't do it themselves. During the development process, we faced a few challenges, but our main problem was creating multiple backgrounds that the user could choose from. At first, we created a PHP form to collect the user's chosen background, but we ran into a problem where the variable storing the user's choice wouldn't update properly in the code. The image kept defaulting back to the original image rather than updating to the user's selected background. After a lot of troubleshooting and debugging, I resolved this issue by using a JavaScript function, which made it much easier to dynamically update and display the user's chosen background image. And I later realized that this issue was probably from me not changing the file permissions in FileZilla. And here is a demo of our video. When the user first visits our site, they are brought to this homepage. This homepage displays the title of the game along with two buttons. The first button is the How to Play button. When the user clicks on this button, this pop-up will appear which says How to Play, includes a brief description on what the 15 puzzle game is and how the user is supposed to play the game. And when the user hits OK, this pop-up will disappear. And then we have the Start Game button. When the user clicks this button, they're brought to this page, which displays the board along with a few other features of our game. On the right-hand side, we have the title of the game along with the timer, the number of moves counter, the shuffle button, and the solve button, along with the drop-down menu for the user to change the background image. So first, I'm going to show you how the user can change the background image. This here is image 1. This is the second image. This is the third image. The fourth one. Here's the fifth one, and this is the last one. I'll go back to one. Then we have the shuffle button. When the user clicks this button, you can see the order of the images is changed, no matter how many times the user clicks the button. All right. And then we have the solve button, which solves the puzzle for the user. But first, I'm going to show you how the puzzle board works. So as you can see, the user can only move images if it is right next to the blank tile. So you can move that one, but we can't move these two or these because they aren't next to the blank tile. So now I'm going to hit the solve button. As you can see, this one will also only move the tiles that are next to the blank image, and it'll solve the whole puzzle for you. So once the puzzle is solved, either by the user clicking the solve puzzle button or if the user finishes the puzzle by themselves, you'll get this pop-up which says you won and includes an image and then says thank you for playing. And the user has two options. They can either play again or quit. So I'm going to hit play again, and hitting the shuffle button doesn't increase the number of moves counter. And then to solve this one as well. And similar to the last one, it's going to solve the puzzle for you without the user having to do it themselves. All right. And then I'm going to hit quit, which will take you back to the home page. And I'm going to hit start game again. And the game does have audio, but I muted it because you wouldn't be able to hear me talk. So here is the audio. I'm sorry. Okay. And now I'm going to show you what happens when the user runs out of time, which means they lose the game. So on here, you'll get this pop-up which says you lost, and also displays an image and says you ran out of time. And the user can either try again or quit the game. I'm gonna hit try again, and again you're taken to the same page where you can do the same stuff as before. Oh, and this button over here is also to play the music, but the side is muted so you can't hear. And that concludes the demo of our site. And that was the demo for our site. And now we have our code explanations. At the beginning of the JavaScript file, we have several variables initialized. These variables include the grid dimensions, which are represented as the rows and columns variable, and both of these are given the value 4 because it is a 16 grid. Next, we have the current tile and the target tile variables, which are really just the selected tile and the blank tile. Then we have the turns variable, which controls the moves made counter. Next, we have the image order array, which stores a sequence of the image tiles, and we have 1 through 16. Next, we have the timer interval, timer expire, and the countdown timer, which control the timer. Then we have the shuffle history, which is used for the solve puzzle function, which solves the puzzle. And next, we have the let current image set equal image 1. And image 1 is the folder containing all the images for the first image that the user can select. And this will change based on which image the user selects. So as seen in the demo, if the user selects image 2, then it'll choose the folder image 2. For the next section of code, we have the window.onLook function. This function ensures that the game initializes once the page fully loads. Inside this function, the user's selected image is pulled from the local storage, which is used for if the user plays the game again, refreshes the page, or presses the back button, the user selected image will remain what it is. So as seen in the demo, if I selected image 3 and then click the back button, when I go back to the game page, it'll still be on image 3 and not image 1, which was the default image. This function also calls the audio. This function is also where the audio feature is created. And then this function also handles the event listeners for the shuffle, solve, and the other buttons that appear on the pop-up windows. What you can see are the play again button and the go home button. This function also calls the display board function, which will display the grid along with the background images, and the shuffle array function, which shuffles the array, and then the start timer, which starts the countdown timer. Next, we have the change image set function, which enables the user to select and apply different background themes, and it saves their choice to the local storage. Next, we have the play audio function, which just plays the audio, and the restart audio function, which will restart the audio when the game restarts or if the page is refreshed. Next, we have the start timer function, which manages the countdown timer and updates the display every second, which is from down here. The 1000 stands for milliseconds, which will be 1 second. And right here, if the timer is expired, it'll set the timer expired to true, and it'll clear out the timer and set and change the text to say time's up rather than this right here. Well, this right here. And then it'll pull up the loser pop-up window. Next, we have the display board function, which generates the game grid based on the image order ID. Based on the image order variable by assigning each tile its appropriate image and ID. It also adds the drag and drop event listeners to each tile, which allows the user to move the tiles around. And right here, as I said earlier, this is where the folder that the image is in will change, and then the image number that was in the image order array. So image 1. Okay. Next, we have the Scrum benefits. The Scrum methodology allows for you to break down parts of the project into smaller, more manageable sections. It allows for easier troubleshooting after each step. It allows for members to contribute to different aspects of the project, which in turns hold each member accountable for a specific task.
In our website, we also added a hint function for the users to use in case they get confused on which box to move and which move is the most optimal. In the hint function, we use some math, such as the Manhattan distance, to convert the tiles into integers and see which box next to the empty space is more optimal. We also used a highlighting function on the hint move. So in case a user decides to use the hint, it will highlight the tile with a red border for whichever move is the most optimal.
Okay, so this is Alfred. I'm going to be explaining the sliding multiple squares feature. So we have a lot of code to go over, but I want to focus on the main part and the main function of the code that makes it work, and that would be the function update movable tiles. So as you can see, first we set the ID, and here's the ID is board, and this will be the container for the variable board. And then we have this image src 16.jpg. This is the blank space or the blank tile within the grid. And this is the coordinates of the grid. This is the coordinates of the tile. So you can see that this will list the coordinates, and whichever row and column that coordinate is, all those within the row and column, all those tiles will be movable. And so then we have we have the row and column right here. And then we're going to check to see if the tile is movable in the same row and same column. And if it is, if it's movable, we're going to be able to put our cursor over it. It's going to be highlighted so you can know that it's movable. And if it's not, it won't highlight anything. So I'm going to show you an example real quick. Hold on. I could back out here. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right. So start the game. Okay, I'm gonna mute the. Okay, I muted. I think I muted. All right, so I can't really show you on this laptop because my laptop is kind of broken. I can't drag things, but when you get the chance to have it, you'll be able to play around with it. And as you can see, the blank tile is right here, right? And all the things that are movable is within the same column. As you see, everything within the column is movable, and everything within the row is movable as well. And this works with every single image that we have. So I could go to image one. Here's the blank tile. Here's the column. And here's the row. Like I said, I can't move it with this laptop. But you could try it out when you get the demonstration yourself. Image two, same thing, same column, same row. And image four, same column and same row. So yeah, that's it about the feature sliding multiple squares. And yep, thank you for watching.
And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.